Is the Apple Card the best way to buy Apple products? No, it is not. And here are 5 better ways to purchase Apple products. How's everyone doing? It's Cao Yang here, bringing you another video to help you make the right choices. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't think the Apple Card deserves as much hate as it gets from the credit card community. Actually, I quite like the Apple Card, even made a video stating it's an excellent beginner gateway card into the credit card community. Because of the intuitive features for beginners, getting 3% back at Apple stores, along with being able to finance some Apple items, and still be able to get 3% cash back, which is usually an either or for other credit cards. But the Apple Card isn't the best card for everyone and your needs. So the first card I would recommend instead of the Apple Card is the newly refreshed, revamped American Express Blue Cash Everyday. With this card, you'll get the same 3% cash back when you make Apple purchases online, but instead of being restricted to a select set of stores, the 3% cash back actually applies to any online store, not just the Apple Store. So that means you'll also get 3% cash back on online purchases at Target, Amazon, and Cleveland Browns merch. What? I gotta support my hometown. It's the law. But not only will the Amex Blue Cash Everyday give you 3% back on online purchases, but also on groceries and gas, which I think are everyday purchases most people make in the United States. Gotta always feel up to go anywhere and gotta eat. Might as well get some extra money back for it. So way better and more flexible in my opinion than what the Apple Card gives 3% back on other than Apple purchases. Plus with this card you'll get a $7 credit when you purchase the Disney bundle, a $15 credit per month on Home Chef, car rental insurance, purchase protection, and one of the best customer services in the credit card industry, along with a welcome bonus as of right now, $200 back after you spend $2,000 within the first 6 months. So basically 10% back, plus 0% interest for the first 15 months. Getting all that without paying any fees. There are no annual fees on this card. However, the downsides of this card are each category, groceries, online purchases, and gas, each have a $6,000 spend limit. I wouldn't worry about spending $6,000 on gas because by then we have another problem. Spending $6,000 on groceries is close, but still should be manageable. However, I think especially if you're going to make a big Apple purchase soon, and probably going to make other online purchases, you might hit that $6,000 mark. Along with the spending limit problem, unlike the Apple Card, there is no way of getting 2% back on other purchases, like you can when you use Apple Pay with Apple Card. But I still believe that Amex Blue Cash Everyday is more of a solid and flexible option than the Apple Card. But of course you know yourself the best. The second card I would recommend instead of the Apple Card is actually the Discover It credit card, but specifically right now. So how this card works is the best cashback category to spend changes every quarter. So for example, in quarter 2, April to June, you could get 5% back at gas stations and Target. But in this quarter 3, between July and September, you'll get 5% back on restaurants and PayPal. And that's good for us, because essentially that means we can get 5% cash back on Apple.com. Because basically when you buy anything on the internet, most likely there's a PayPal option when you check out. But even better, in the next quarter, the 4th quarter, between October and December, you can get 5% back on digital wallet purchases like Apple Pay and on Amazon.com. So basically the rest of the year you can get 5% cash back on your Apple purchases in one way or another. And if that wasn't enough, on top of that, Discover will match all the cash back you made during the first year. So basically 10% cash back on your Apple purchases, all with no annual fee and pretty great customer service from Discover. Of course, like the Amex Blue Cash Everyday, there are downsides. Each rotating category for each quarter changes, like I talked about earlier, and you have to activate them before you use the card. But not only that, there are limits just like the Amex Blue Cash Everyday, which is $1,500 per quarter, which is really low. However, it's $5 if you already have the card, or 10% back if you just open the card. So quite a bit of cash back. Like for example, if you bought a new iPhone for around $1,000, you'll basically get back $100. And if you fully maximize both the 3rd and 4th quarters, so you spend $3,000 total, you'll get $300 back. So definitely not a bad option to use to get a lot of cash back these next quarters for Apple purchases. The third card I would recommend instead of the Apple Card is kind of an unknown one, but it's the Payboo Card. I know, it sounds funny. Most people wouldn't know about this card unless you're interested in the photography and film space, but this card is offered by B&H, which is a huge photo, video, and audio store. You might know them for the rail system within their store located in New York. Now what does it have to do with Apple stuff? Well, even though they're a photography store, they are an authorized seller of Apple products and carry many of the official products and accessories. I think the only thing they don't carry are iPhones. But with the Payboo Card by B&H, will cash you back the tax you paid on an item. Doesn't sound like much, but you'll be surprised. For example, if you live in New York, you'll get back 8.875% back. If you live in North Carolina, you'll get back 7.25% back. For Kentucky, you'll get 6% instantly back. Way more back consistently on Apple purchases than the other cards we just talked about. And I don't think there are any limits. But the downsides are that you have to make the purchase at B&H to get the cash back. And if you choose to finance your purchase instead, you'll lose out on the cash back. But a strong choice if you don't mind shopping at B&H and you want the most back any time of the year. The fourth card I would recommend instead of the Apple Card is kind of the same as the card we just talked about, the BestBuy Card. Funny story, I actually used to work at Best Buy and used to pitch this card to people. Anyways, the BestBuy Card is a good option because basically Best Buy carries every Apple product. And when you first apply for the card for your first purchase, you'll get 10% back. After that, you'll get 5% back on everything else you buy at Best Buy. So you don't mind shopping at Best Buy, that's a lot of cash back. And if you apply for the city version of the Best Buy card, you can get 3% back on gas, 2% back on groceries, dining, and takeout. Plus, there are limited time bonus categories. For this month, I was offered 5% back on travel for the bonus category, so not bad. However, the downsides are if you want to finance something like the Payboo Card, you have to choose between getting rewards back or financing it and paying it off over time. And the second downside is you don't get cash back. Rather rewards back to use at Best Buy. But if you happen to shop at Best Buy anyways, basically same as cash. So if you shop at Best Buy anyways and want more cash back than the Apple Card would have given you, this card might be a good fit for you. And finally, the last card I would recommend instead of the Apple Card is the US Bank Altitude Reserve Visa Infinity Card. Now this card is tough to get and costs something, but definitely worth it if you don't mind using Apple Pay, because you'll get 3 points back on every Apple Pay transaction and any travel purchases. And each point could be worth up to 1.5 cents, essentially 4.5% back every time you use Apple Pay or spend on travel. Wow, that's a lot back with no limits, I believe. Plus you get 5 points back on hotels and car rentals booked on the US Bank's portal, or 7.5% back. Also with this card you can get a welcome bonus of 50,000 points or about $750 worth of value when you spend $4,000 within 3 months. And you'll also get with this card Priority Pass lounge access, no foreign transaction fees, TSA PreCheck or Global Entry credit to name a few of the main benefits. However, to be able to apply for this card, you have to already be a US Bank customer. So either already have another credit card from them or a checking account, for example. And there's a $400 annual fee on this card, which is easily reduced with the $325 credit for travel, dining, takeout, and restaurant delivery purchases, leaving this card with an effective annual fee of $75. So if you're a big traveler anyways and use Apple Pay a lot already, this card is worth a serious look. So what do you think of my list? Are there better cards you think I missed? Or maybe the Apple Card is the best fit for you? Let me know in the comments below. Also, according to the YouTube analytics, only a very small portion of you that actually watch my videos are actually subscribed. So if you enjoyed this video and haven't already, consider subscribing. And thanks for reaching to this point of the video. Here's a clip of my cat Suki slurping on some spaghetti, and I'll see you later.